Fluency enhancing techniques are those strategies for encouraging fluency in a general capacity. The focus is fluency, not modifying, tolerating, or surviving a stutter, like in stuttering modification strategies. The purpose is to obtain fluent speech outside the stuttering behaviors or before a stuttering event. They aim to prevent the intensity or frequency of the stuttering behavior. Allow for success in achieving fluency, so to increase confidence. To decrease negative reactions to stuttering, so to promote fluent speech. Alter speakers' articulation, speech rate, and breath pattern, voice productions, and other aspects of communication to reduce vulnerable disfluencies. I am going to discuss 3 different fluency enhancing techniques. The first one is syllable times speech technique. It is also known as robot speech technique. To do this, you would first start by looking at a picture with your client. As both of you are talking, say one syllable at a time, breaking up your words into syllables and making known pauses after each one. So instead of talking like this, you would want to talk to your client like this, making boundaries and pauses after each syllable. This can be somewhat difficult at the start working with clients, but you can make it easier by having the client tap out each syllable so that it is very structured. You might feel like this is very strange at first, and it does feel and sound difficult, but to make it sound more normal, you can add typical inflection as you speak and also making your rate close to normal speed. To do this, you can start with different levels. Level 1 is you would look at pictures in a book and have the client say one sentence with structured syllable times speech. Level 2 would be looking at the pictures and saying 2 sentences. Level 3 would be saying 3 sentences. Level 4 would be saying 5 sentences. And level 5 would be having them talk for 3 minutes with syllable times speech. Level 6 would be having them talk for 5 minutes with syllable times speech. Level 7 would be playing a fun activity or with a toy for 3 minutes using syllable times speech. Level 8 would be playing with a toy or doing an activity and talking for 5 minutes with syllable times speech. And finally, level 9 would be having a normal conversation using syllable times speech for 5 minutes. This technique can help clients because it will space out their words, slowing down the rate of speech. The next fluency enhancing technique is the pause and phrasing technique. The pause and phrasing technique is a fluency technique that affects the timing of speech. It involves pausing periodically while speaking and giving breaks in the sentences into phrases. This technique can make communication easier for the speaker. It can increase intelligibility and decrease the time pressure spent of speaking. While using this technique, the speaker learns to pause between ideas when they need to breathe or during natural breaks in sentences. So level 1, you could have the client read a sentence strip with a visual cue such as a stop sign. The client will have to make a natural pause at the visual cue. So, for example, the boy went to the store with his mom. To make this harder, you could have the client move up to level 2, which is multiple sentences. I like animals that have stripes and animals that have spots. I like animals that are tall and animals that are short. I like animals that live in the ocean, the desert, and the jungle. To make this harder, you can move on to paragraphs. There was a boy who lived on a farm with his grandma and grandpa. He liked to help his grandparents feed the chickens, milk the cows, and brush the horses. One day, he was on his way to town to sell some milk from the cows on the farm when he saw a dog walking along the road. Next, you could move this into integrated paragraphs so the client would have to read a paragraph and know when to make appropriate pauses. This will then be generalized into their life by having them put the pauses in during natural sentences, structured conversations, and also play. The final fluency enhancing technique is easy onset. The goal of easy onset is for the client to bring the vocal folds together in a soft, controlled manner. Easy onset is when the client starts speech with relaxed, loose muscles, slow, stretched out initial sound, and a forward release of airflow. The client will start with a deep breath in, then letting a small amount of airflow out, turning their voice on and remembering to stretch out the first vowel of the word. It is important for the client to remember to use all the air from their voice, meaning they should not have leftover air to breathe out once their voice is off. It is important for the client to know that they start speaking when they are using the softest sound and the lowest vibrations of the vocal cords. They smoothly increase both the volume and the strength of the voice to normal volume, then decrease the vocal cord volume and vibration strength back to the early soft level. As you are working on early onset with the client, you can use visuals such as a slide. Take a deep breath in would be going up the ladder. Start to exhale when you sit down on the slide, and start to phonate or vocal cord vibration as you say the word and you slide down. For example, apple. You can use an illustration such as the slide to help practice at the word level with clients. You can then have the clients take the slide into different words in the sentence level, such as Annie had an